Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by lynda.com.
Today on Variant, I review Captain America Winter Soldier. Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than they need to bring back Heisey's Ecto Cooler. I'm your host, Arris. Captain America Winter Soldier was finally released in the US last week, and of course I saw it opening weekend, so guess what? I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and review the movie. I might mention some spoilers in my review, so if you haven't seen the movie, tread lightly. Also, today is Variant's 100th episode. It's crazy how fast time flies and how much the show has grown in almost the 2 years it's been around. So thank you all for supporting the show. I'm glad you guys enjoy it. You're the reason why I do it, so again, thank you. But enough being sentimental. So for those of you curious on how I thought Captain America Winter Soldier stacks up to other Marvel Studios films, here you go. So I'm not even going to beat around the bush and make you wait till mid-review to actually tell you whether I enjoyed the movie or not. Instead, I'm going to tell you how I feel about Captain America Winter Soldier right off the bat. Within the first 15 minutes of the film, I looked a little something like this. Then we hit the 1 hour mark and I was doing this. Then the movie ended and I'm pretty sure I looked a little something like this in the middle of the movie theater. So needless to say, I absolutely love this movie. It was such a well-rounded film, I thought. It was able to capture everything fans love about Captain America. And the tone of the movie was great. It had a Bourne film tone, I thought, which was awesome and worked perfect because the fighting in Cap 2 is hands down the best fighting I've seen in a superhero movie. It was just the perfect mix of stealth, parkour, acrobatics, and just downright BA all around. And the way Captain America utilized his shield in this movie was everything I could ever ask for. I mean, I know when reading the comics, you picture in your head how things might look if they came to life. Well, the use of his shield surpassed any preconceived notion of what I thought it might look like on the big screen. Some of you may be saying, but we saw him use his shield in Captain America the First Avenger and in the Avengers. And yeah, he did, and it was awesome, but guess what? It was even better in this film. Winter Soldier looks fantastic, and every time he was on the screen, it was just cool thing after cool thing. He also looked like he was literally ripped from the pages of the comic books. They did such a good job translating his costume and character design for the movie. There was even a scene where he's getting brainwashed by Hydra that looked pretty reminiscent to some panels in the comic books where they showed flashbacks of how he became Winter Soldier. As for characters in this movie, it definitely wasn't lacking any at all. Besides the obvious and title character, Captain America, you have Nick Fury and Black Widow, who were great as usual. You have Falcon, played by Anthony Mackie, who was awesome. I especially liked him and Captain America's relationship. Then a ton of other Marvel characters introduced for the first time in this movie who only big fans of the comics might know, like Agent 13, played by Emily Van Camp, who becomes Steve Rogers' love interest in the comic books. Dr. Armin Zola returns, but this time as a program inside a computer like we know him from the comic books. Frank Grillo plays Brock Rumlow, who some of you might already know becomes one of Captain America's villains and one of my favorite Captain America villains at that, Crossbones. So I'm sure he's going to be making an appearance in future Captain America movies, especially if you've seen the movie, you should know what I'm talking about. Then in a post-credit scene, we see a glass-eyed bald man who keen-eyed comic fans know as Baron Von Strucker. He's another Cap villain who's captured two twins who, you might have guessed, are Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, who are going to be in Avengers 2 Age of Ultron. And might I add, I can't wait to see that movie, especially with introducing Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch into the mix. So this movie introduces a crap ton of new characters to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel is doing such a good job strategically introducing new characters to their cinematic universe, and then using them for other films and tying everything together. President of Marvel Studios Kevin Feige actually said that Marvel Studios has plans for movies through 2028. The directors of Captain America Winter Soldier, Anthony and Joe Russo, did such a good job with this movie in my opinion, which was kinda unexpected as they're really known for comedy like the TV show Community and You, Me, and Dupree. But apparently that's not all they can do because they directed the crap out of this movie. I thought the pacing, action, humor, character development was just all around great, and I'm super excited that the directors will be returning to direct the third Captain America film. Now, I've been gushing about this movie for a few minutes, and you're probably asking, is there anything you didn't like about this movie? And the answer would actually be no. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head at least. If I did think of something, it doesn't even matter because the good overshadows the bad. I have been seeing and hearing some people complaining that Winter Soldier wasn't in the film enough, but I personally thought he served his purpose and was in it a good amount, especially since they allude to him being in Captain America 3. So bringing my thoughts to a close, I think this is the second best Marvel movie released thus far, right under Avengers. And in my opinion, I don't even think it's that far off from Avengers. It's like Avengers, Captain America, Winter Soldier, which says a lot because Avengers is my favorite superhero movie of all time. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give this movie a solid 9. It's a must-see for any fans of comics, especially if you love Marvel or Captain America. Lynda.com is an online learning company with more than 77,000 video tutorials that teach software, creative, and business skills. Memberships start at $25 per month and provides an unlimited 24/7 access to top quality video courses taught by expert instructors with real-world experience. Learn anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace, but from bite-sized tutorials to comprehensive courses in web design, program design, photography, business, audio and video, 3D, and animation. And you can learn on the go with their optimized mobile site or free iPhone and iPad app for members. Try Lynda.com free for 7 days by visiting lynda.com/variants and get some knowledge in your brain. First up for Wednesday, April 9th, we have all new X-Men issue 25. This is one of the best X-Men titles out, so if you're looking for an X-Men book to read, this would be a great choice. Now we have East of West issue 11. For those of you who don't know, this is a sci-fi western set in a dystopian America where all hope for the future rests in the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, who just so happen to be trying to kill the President of the United States. It's an exciting and well-written comic. Here we have Superman Wonder Woman issue 7. Doomsday has awakened and the earth and heavens tremble, and discover how Superman and Wonder Woman survived a nuclear blast. And finally we have Batman Eternal issue 1. Don't miss the start of the Bat story, so big it's going to take every week of the month to tell. A massive cast of Gotham City's best and worst examines the relationship between Batman, his allies, and his city. Sadly, that brings this week's episode to a close, but don't be sad, just read some comic books in the meantime. You can also like our Variant Facebook page to keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Arris_Quinones, but I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. Program inside a computer like we know him from the comic books. A computer? What's a computer? Who has captured 2 twins who are, as you might have and that's how they do it